Hi everyone, and welcome back to Balkan Sis, the show that's going to help you navigate the massive challenges of life, motherhood, culture, identity and belonging with more ease, acceptance, joy and purpose. Thanks to each and every one of you that come back every time to listen, learn, heal and feel inspired. If you do love the podcast, then do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. It really does help spread the word.
Hello, gorgeous people, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Balkan Sis. I'm so excited. It's February the 1st, 2023, and it is my birthday month. Yay! I'm so excited, guys. I turned 35. Holy shit, 35. Wow. I remember when I was a kid, I used to think 35 was really old. And yeah, I remember thinking 30 was really old. And here I am at 35. Yeah, as excited as ever. Look, I love birthdays. Some people don't. I love any excuse to celebrate, any excuse to have a party and have fun and spend time with your loved ones. Not that we need a birthday to do that, but you know, I think it's always awesome when there's an occasion or an event where you can celebrate yourself and you can celebrate others. And yeah, what can I say? Holy moly, I'm really excited. So it's birthday month, birthday week. My birthday is actually tomorrow, but I wanted to record the episode today. And actually today I think it's just going to be 35 top lessons I learned in 35 years. So whoa, holy moly. I mean, obviously, you know, from age 0 to 5, you don't really know much, I guess, about yourself, but it's just all the lessons compiled into one and all the things I've learned up until now. So I thought it'd be really great to jump in because I've had some awesome guests, and then I thought today's episode, I'll do a solo episode just with me, myself, and I, and I'll share some wisdom, some lessons, some heartbreaks, and if you want to play along and you want to contribute, feel free to write to me, send me an email, or connect with me on Instagram or on LinkedIn, wherever you are, and I'm always happy to connect and see what magic we can create together. So look, I'm not going to ramble on too much because otherwise this episode is going to go on for ages and you guys will be here for hours. So I wanted to make today a quick one, but an insightful and powerful one. And I hope that maybe some of the things I share along the way help you out wherever you might be in life. So, okay guys, well, wow, 35. So let's go to number one. So, number one lesson. I would say, personally for me, it's the realization I had after I had my son is no one is coming to save you, Ivana. That is the big one. You can seek help, you can seek support, you can ask questions, you can get guidance, but ultimately you have to make the decisions. So it was a really huge realization for me before, after I became a mum that, no one is coming to save me. Even though I have really great family and really great friends, that was a big one. And I think once you realize that the world doesn't owe you anything, that, there is no exception just for you. Like, hard lessons aren't going to stop just because it's you or just because you're a good person. Like, I'm such a good person, I do X, Y, Z, why do bad things always happen to me, and why did I have a shit year, and all this self-talk. It's ultimately only I can save me. Only I can, deal with my own shadows, deal with my own stuff, my own experiences, and try and come out the other side. So that was a huge lesson. No one is coming to save you. And yeah, that one was really hard. That one, look, I'm still learning that one. So it's not like the lessons I'm sharing, like, oh, I've learned and I'm done with them. Life is ever-growing tree, so it's a journey. It's not like I've arrived and now I'm finished. I'm hoping I'm going to have a really long life, and I'm going to keep on learning, but that was lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, it says, this is what I pre-wrote for myself, you can do this, don't doubt yourself. So that's a big one, because I happen to self-destruct very quickly. I don't necessarily succumb to other people's pressures or, I guess, opinions. It's more so what I think of myself. So I do get into that imposter syndrome thing of, I can't do this, what makes me so special, why would anybody want to book me, why would anybody want to work with me, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that was a hard lesson for me to learn, and still learning as well, is you can do this, don't doubt yourself. That goes in all areas of your life. So, work, motherhood, friendships, wherever you are at the time. Anyway, so number 3 is, don't compare your journey to someone else's. You don't know what life is like on the outside for others. And it's true, because, they say comparison is a thief of joy, and it truly is, because you're comparing where you are right now, which might be step number 4, comparing it to somebody else's journey, which is step number 10. And you can't do that. If anything, you should use that person as a marker, maybe of where you would like to be, or adapt some of the ways that they're doing what they're doing. You can adapt into your own life. So if anything, other people should serve as reminders or as markers of, how you're going or how you're tracking. I guess if you want to measure it to some degree, which, you shouldn't. At the end of the day, we're all on our own journey. Your journey doesn't have any more or less value than somebody else's. So yeah, I would say don't compare your journey to someone else's. That's a big one, because really comparison is not healthy, especially in our culture. It's comparing, like, we get into, look, I know you guys can relate. It's this whole thing of like, you're talking about, like, I don't know, I have a headache, and then someone else says, but I broke my leg last week, and I have you know how it is in our culture. It's like people compete for the top spot of who's had it the toughest, who's had it the roughest. And culturally, we all have been through a lot, so it shouldn't be a competition. It's all valid. Your journey is valid just as somebody else's, even if necessarily your experiences weren't as tough or as hard as somebody else's. But that's not to say that you didn't struggle more. So yeah, I would just say don't compare your journey to where somebody else is, because people fake it, especially with social media. We're only showing 10% of what we want people to see, maybe even less than that. So we're only showing and projecting how we want to be perceived, not actually truly how we're feeling. So that's where I endeavor with whatever I share, for it to be authentic or for it to be truthful, because I don't want to be sharing some false narrative or some false version of myself, and I think we've seen that on social media quite a lot, and it's impacting the way our children are growing as well. My little son right now is 4 years old, and he says, Mummy, I'm so small, Mummy, I'm so short, my friends are bigger than me, my friends are taller than me. Mind you, his friends are older than him, 5 years old, 6 years old, so he's comparing, his growth and how big or small he is to somebody else. So that's a big one. Try not compare your journey to somebody else. That's a huge one. Number 4 is keep sharing and spreading your joy no matter what. Now, this is massive as well. I think we generally like to categorize people between I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. So either you're a people's person or you're not, which I think you can't categorize people like that, humans like that, because we're all a bit of everything, really. So sometimes, you might be extroverted, but if it's with people you feel comfortable with, for me, it looks like my light's always glowing, but really I need a lot of alone time. So I need a lot of downtime. So keep sharing this, spreading your joy. God, I can't even talk, guys. Keep sharing and spreading your joy no matter what, even if you have people telling you, you talk too much, you're this, you're that, or you don't talk enough, or you should be this, you should be that, you should be more of all these other things that you're not. So that's my reminder, and the lesson that I had to learn is keep on sharing and spreading, regardless of what other people think, like, fuck it. And another thing, culturally, that's a big thing. You know, girls shouldn't be too much of this or too much of that. So, you know, for me growing up, it was suppressive. It was a suppressive environment in terms of, oh, you know, I guess even with kids in the 80s, not just me, it's like kids should be seen, not heard. Specifically, like I said, coming from our Balkan heritage, our Balkan culture as a collective, that's a big one. So here's your reminder, keep on sharing and spreading your joy no matter what. And if somebody doesn't fucking like it, they can move on. Honestly, if somebody has a problem with how bright you're glowing, with how much you're sharing, with how much you talk, with how loud you are, look, you know, you don't need them. You need people who will uplift you and support you. Constructive feedback is great, but if somebody's bothered by your brilliance and bothered by your happiness, then they're not your tribe, they're not your people. That's a big one. Yeah, it says number 5, don't run, you're allowed to slow down. So that's a huge one. I would say that I ran for myself and for my life for the first, like, probably 30 years of my life. I didn't stop until I had my son, and I was 30 at that stage. So please slow down. There's so much power in slowing down. Perhaps maybe you're somebody who's really relaxed, so you're looking to maybe bring up your tempo, speed up, that's different. But if you're highly strung and yeah, you've had to overcome a lot in your life and you struggle to slow down, that's a huge one. So don't run, walk, be steady, and don't be afraid to slow down. My nervous system for probably like I said, the first 30 years of my life was just a nightmare. So I hope that one helps. Yeah, regardless of where you are in this current moment, with yourself, just trust the process. Number 6, be authentic, and be who you truly are. Don't emulate others. So similar to the other one. Being authentic. That has many different versions, but for me, it's about being who I am at home, and also being that person when I'm out. Not feeling like I'm acting on a stage. Not feeling like, okay, I'm with strangers now, or I'm with work people, or I'm here, I'm there, so I need to be this different version of myself, or here I swear and here I shouldn't swear because, you know, I'm going to be seen a certain way. No, it's about owning who I am, owning who you are fully, and staying true to who you are and authentic. So that's a big one, because I acted like I had very different versions of myself for my parents. I was acting in a certain way that I thought would make them happy, and then I was acting in a certain way that I thought would make, work people happy. So just own who you are. Trust yourself. Number 7, being a mum is sacred work, and you will be all right. Oh yeah, that's a big one. So becoming a mum was, if you know me and you've been following me for quite a while, like I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. Becoming a mum was the toughest thing I have ever had to do, and am still doing in my whole entire life. Like if you compare it to anything else, like climbing the tallest, biggest mountain, becoming a mum is the hardest and most amazing thing you'll ever do, all at the same time. So, and it is sacred. And I'm finally, getting out the other end. Like my son is 4, and I love spending time with him. I love being with him. I'm really settling into being a mum, and just not minding all the things that I used to not like when he was a baby. So, and look, it probably has a lot to do with sleep as well. So that's one big one. So that's what they call matrescence. So matrescence is a journey. Matrescence is sort of like they describe motherhood how they describe puberty. So you sort of go through the same thing as what you did in puberty, but you go through it when you become a mum. And I really, really, really vouch for that. So look, it's sacred work. You shouldn't take it lightly, and you should really look after yourself, also while being a mum and doing everything for everybody else. So number 8 is trust your gut, always. Oh my God, yes, this is a huge one. So trust your gut. What does that actually mean? It means so many different things. Like I said, I can't elaborate too much because we'll be here all day. But I've had to just learn how to trust my gut and my intuition. So it's like if I enter a room or I meet a person or I have that initial first feeling, I should really follow that. in your true essence, that's what we should all do. So if you've met someone and you don't get a good feeling, that's a huge red flag. Or, you have a gut instinct like, oh, I want to do this, or I don't want to do that. Your first initial reaction is always the way. So, yeah, trusting my gut has been a work in progress, because sometimes you think, oh, hang on, am I wrong? Yeah, trusting yourself is a big work in progress. So that was a big one for me. Number 9, life is a marathon, not a race. Stay in your own lane. So I guess this is a combination of a few other things I pointed out before, but it is a marathon, guys. Like, you can't. I'm 35, for example. Okay, maybe some younger people have achieved a lot more than what I have, or vice versa. But I'm happy with where I am, and I'm happy with who I am. So, looking at life to be something enjoyed, not something to be endured. That's a big one. Because for that whole martyrdom, that whole Balkan sort of upbringing, and it's like, go hard, and you should do this by this age, and you should do that by that age, and it's all about education and what you have and what car you drive and all that. But I just want to look at things through a bit of a different lens of just, yeah, like wanting to just enjoy myself. It's not a race. I'm not up against anyone. It's just me. So, yeah, it's a marathon, not a race, guys. Just enjoy it, walk slow. Number 10, don't be afraid to ask for help and build your tribe. That's a huge one. For years and years and years, I didn't know how to ask for help. I thought asking for help meant I was weak. If I asked for help, it meant that I couldn't do something myself. So I had this whole independency complex where if I didn't do something and it wasn't done my way, then it was going to be a fucking nightmare. So that's a huge one. Building your tribe, building your village, building your people, whether it be virtually, online, or in person. A person you can go to for this problem, a person you can go to for that problem, someone who can help you solve something here or there. So, not just being surrounded by mums, or not just be surrounded by young, single people because you're single. Like, have a different variety of people that can give you different feedback and that can help uplift you in different areas of your life. That was a huge one as well for me. And I had to learn how to ask for help because I became a mum. And all of a sudden, I didn't have the amount of time I used to have. And I didn't have the amount of hands, free hands to do what I wanted to do. So, yeah, that was huge. I cried a lot because I hated the fact that, my mum had to help me and my mother-in-law had to help me and people had to jump in and I had to rely on others. But I've learned to become comfortable with that. And asking for help, through therapy, through self-improvement, whatever it might look like for you, in any area of your life, asking for help is an art form. It's difficult. And you can't do it with everybody. You might ask and then you get knocked back, so it deters you from doing it again. So, but yeah, that's one big lesson I had to learn for myself. Number 11, you will change, grow, and flourish. So yeah, not everybody will stick around. So, like I said, through life, you will shed so many different layers, like a skin shedding its skin. And not everybody's going to stay on that journey. You're going to have people that you've been friends with for a really long time that all of a sudden drop off. When you get into that new relationship, or you land that new job, or you have a child, you're creating a family, your circle will grow and evolve, and be open to that. Things will change. And as you grow, not everybody wants to see you shine. So I would just encourage you just to keep on fighting the good fight and just keep on flourishing. And if people are going to drop off and you get disappointed, that's okay. Maybe they weren't meant to be there in the first place. So not everyone is going to stick around. I sort of see it like a train, and that train just keeps on moving, and you have stops, which is like life. And some people are going to get on and some people are going to get off. So yeah, who's going to fight for you will fight for you, and who won't will move on, and that's totally okay, even if it's heartbreaking too. Number 12, keep on creating impact no matter how big or small. Look, this is a huge one. For example, like this podcast or any project, or anything that you do in your life. It might be with your child, it might be within your family, within your network, it might be something small at work. Keep on creating impact no matter what. So that's the thing. Like, I might not have millions of downloads on this podcast, which I will, but if you keep on sharing it, but it's like I keep doing it because it's a passion, and I love to connect with others, and it lights me up. So even if it's something that you're doing on a daily basis that's creating impact, for yourself or for somebody else, keep on doing it. Even if there's no gratification, even if there's nobody to pat you on the back and say, wow, you're doing a great job. If it lights you up, then that's enough. Just keep on doing it, and keep on creating impact. It could be just small gestures. Doesn't have to be big stuff. Just think small, sustainable action, giving a meal to your neighbor or whatever it might be. Okay, number 13, embrace your quirkiness and the things that make you you. Yeah, massive. Like, look, guys, I swear, I say the F word quite a lot. And some people don't like that, and some people do. And it's like, embracing just the things that make you uniquely you is massive. And I think you only learn that through age, because I think when you're young, all you want to do is be accepted. Also, for me, coming as a refugee, all I wanted to do was be accepted. So I made sure that I wasn't quirky or I wasn't myself. Like, I was making sure that I was a different version of me, because I was trying to simulate. I was trying to be someone I wasn't. So I was trying to like become an Aussie kid when I wasn't Aussie. But I'm growing up in this Australian world, so in a way I had to just sink or swim. I had to adapt. So for ages I suppressed all the things that made me me, that made me quirky. So in whatever element this applies to you, just embrace your quirks, embrace the things that make you unique or different, or that people would remember you by. So anyway, number 14, life won't stop being hard, or what makes you so special. Yeah, look, once again, this all comes back down to number one on top, which is nobody's coming to save you. Life won't stop being hard. Like that, just even last year when my dog died, I was crying. And I was crying to my sister, and she's holding me, and I'm like, I keep on losing things. I lost things in my childhood. We lost our childhood home. I lost the country I lived in. I lost the culture. I lost the people. Lost family members, and I just felt like I kept on losing. So then when I went back down that rabbit hole of grieving and loss and being sad, my sister's like, well, look, it's going to continue to happen. And I was just like, I know, shut up. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. I just want you to hug me and make me feel seen in this current moment, even if it means telling me something that I want to hear. So yeah, life won't stop being hard. And I think somehow on a cellular level, once you accept that yeah, difficult things are just going to keep on happening. So they're not going to stop. I sort of used to hold my breath and anticipate, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. So I wouldn't create too many ruffles or too much change. Like, I just had all this fear. Like, what is if this happens? And what is if that happens? Especially even more once I became a mum. Because, you have this little person to look after. So, yeah, life won't stop being hard. What makes you so special? That was, look, even though we all think we're special, and we are, we're all still human. So human things are going to keep on happening, and you just, once again, comes back to that tribe, and it comes back to creating that little village for yourself. Number 15, stop seeking external things and validation. Everything you're seeking is inside yourself. Yeah, that's it. That's a massive one. It's I had to learn that the hard way also, and I still am, because we seek external things to make us feel better, when in actual fact that everything we already need is inside of us. We're not broken. We don't need fixing. We don't. When you look at all this marketing around coaching or around any sort of self-help, it's like people make you feel like, are you lost, sad, scared, confused? Then you should book my 8-step program or whatever. But the whole point is, if you just dedicate some time to sit with yourself, like how in the previous episode I talked to my yoga teacher and we have that 50-minute free meditation. It's about sitting with yourself so that you can spend time on your own, doing things that light you up, so that you can hear that little whisper, you can hear that little voice about, what do I want, not what's grabbing external stuff through, I don't know, I drive a fancy car, I have a big house, or look at my new couch or whatever, which all those things, yes, bring us little bits of joy. Don't get me wrong, I do my $10 eBay purchases. They make me happy when I'm feeling down. But really the work starts from within, so, and then it trickles out. Number 16. Um, yeah, if you're feeling lost, lonely and confused, do what makes you feel good, and that comes up, that sort of ties in together with number 15. I've had many moments in my life where I didn't feel good, and where I felt alone, even though I've been surrounded by so many people, where I've been confused about my direction and where I'm going and what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with, and all these things you get into your head, and you're doing little things that make me feel good, like having a glass of water, having a nourishing meal, talking to a friend, enjoying a hot coffee. It might just be small, just start small. Number 17, it's okay to cry. Let it out, girl. No shame in facing the shadows. 100%, it's okay to cry. Let it out. Like, do not keep shit inside, even if it's rage, even if it's anger. I'm not saying go hit someone, but I'm saying letting things out is healthy. Crying, if you cry a lot, that's fine. You can also cry from gratitude because you're happy. There's many different reasons why people cry. But there's no shame in letting it out. I used to, not cry because obviously growing up, my dad would be like, what are you crying about? Like, I'll give you a reason to cry, because if you're upset about something, someone took something from you. So also culturally, like, this is on a personal level for me, but also on a bigger level for all of us, and how culture ties in with all of these is huge. Number 18, happiness is temporary. What I'm seeking is contentness and peace, 100%. Look, it's this whole thing of, oh, what do you want? It's like, I want to be happy. Well, what is happy? Because you might only be happy 5% of the time, but for me, it's just inner peace, like just feeling okay within myself, no matter what feeling arises or comes. It's about just feeling okay with where I'm at. Number 19, your turn will come. 100%. Your turn will come. That's all it means. It's like you might see somebody else shining and you think, wow, why hasn't that good thing happened to me? Or why aren't good things happening to me? I deserve this, I deserve that. Be patient. Your turn will come. Even that goes for me even now, 35. 34, still for one day. Number 20, learning to say no is much more powerful than saying yes. Yeah, I used to say yes to everything chronically, and now it's all about saying no. Which, yeah, that was tough because, hello, good girl era coming from this Croatian family. It was like you have to say yes to everything. If your auntie asks you to do something, if your grandparents ask you to do something, or your friend or someone in the community, you always have to say yes. You always have to jump and do these things because culturally this is how good girls are trained. So that's a big one. So learning how to say no actually became very difficult for me, and I only learned that through my best friend, who used to say no quite a lot, which was shocking. So having her say to me, it's fine, you can say no and people are still going to love you, that was huge for me. So yeah, retraining my brain and retraining my habits has been very tricky and very hard. And also, like, once I became a mum, I couldn't do everything. So I was forced to start saying no to things. Number 21, there is things out there bigger than you. Keep the faith, 100%. Once again, whatever you believe in, regardless of your faith, just remember, there is things that are bigger than us, that can, destiny, whatever you want to call it. We're just, a tiny little part of this bigger picture. So keep the faith in whatever you're doing, whatever faith looks like to you. Have something that anchors you, whatever that might be, whether it's prayer, meditation, I don't know, whatever makes you feel good inside, just that helps keep you steady, just keep the faith. Number 22, you're not alone. There is one person out there who feels and thinks exactly the way you do. Yes, this is tied in with number 21 once again. You might feel alone a lot, or maybe you are alone physically a lot. Maybe you're stuck with a small baby at home 24/7 or two babies, whatever the situation might be, and you think, oh my God, I'm the only one who's going through this. So yeah, you will feel stuck in many aspects of your life, but if you look out there and you reach out, you'll actually realize that 9 times out of 10, there's always somebody going through the same thing as you that can relate. Number 23, life is not just about what you eat or drink, it's everything you consume. Yes, like, obviously in this modern day and age, it's this whole fad modern age, it's all become about this diet, that diet, you should eat this, you should drink this to, for optimum this, and you'll live this many years. But it actually comes down to everything we consume. And that includes other people's emotions or other people's problems or other people's agendas. It might even be even with things that were happening during, the big global pandemic of what was happening in the last 2.5, 3 years. It's about everything we consume, the news we watch, the movies we watch. It's not just food. So yeah, just being mindful about what we're consuming is huge. That was one thing, because I just used to think like, if I just eat this in one day and then I drink this, then I should feel healthy and I should feel like this and I should feel like that. When in actual fact, I was bypassing the fact that I used to say yes to everything and I was severely burnt out. So then it didn't even matter what I ate at the end of the day. Number 24, never underestimate the power of connection. You never know how much you have impacted someone. And that ties in with what I've previously said. Not underestimating who we're talking to, because you never know who you might be having a conversation with. And also your small gestures, something that might be small to you is really big to somebody else. So not burning too many bridges, like letting people go diplomatically, because you just never know down the track where our roads will meet. So don't underestimate, that one hug that you give to someone or that one uplifting word or conversation. It means something to someone. So don't stop doing it just because you think, I'm not getting anything out of this. Number 25, this is a big one for me. Be prepared to stand alone. Look, I've had this a lot. Some people might think, wow, she's really opinionated, she's this, she's that. So being prepared to stand alone, even if it means that, you lose people along the way. But I would rather do that than be a people pleaser and be in the crowd and pretend that I'm someone when I'm not. So I was really afraid to be alone my whole life. Like, I grew up in this big family and, I was surrounded by a lot of friends. So, I didn't really like being on my own too much. Obviously, being a young girl, our whole work is tied into who we're married to or how we service the family. So, standing alone was actually very hard, but I'm really stepping into my power the older I get, and I'm prepared to stand alone if it means that I fight for what's right. Number 26, express gratitude for friends, family, and people you love. Yes, expressing gratitude doesn't have to be towards others. It can be towards yourself. But expressing gratitude in a way of just even writing it at night, or just writing like 3 words or even 3 words in the morning, just saying thank you to your grandmother or thank you to your mum or your dad or your best friend or someone who's helped you out in life. It's massive, just being kind, and also thanking yourself, thanking your body. There's so many times I've hated my stomach after I had my son, and I've actually thanked my body and I've said thank you, for birthing this creation. And I've said thank you to someone who's been there for me. Yeah, even if I haven't heard from them for a while, but maybe they had a huge impact. So just expressing your gratitude is a big one. Number 27, the family you create is much more powerful than the family you come from. Sadly, look, I think that's true in a lot of cases. It's like you come from this ecosystem, you come from this one family, and then you start to create your own family, your own tribe, through your own children, or maybe through adopted children. It can be through fostering. It can be, you might have animals, you might have friends or roommates, whatever the situation might be. But creating your tribe, as you get to do things, you get to rewrite, I guess, your life to a degree from where you were as a child to where you are now. And I think that's really powerful and obviously very scary. So I'm really proud of the family that I'm creating. And it's huge responsibility, I must say. But, and look, with siblings and parents, and those dynamics can be highly complicated, and they are in every single family, whether it be close or extended. So just focus on, what you are building right now with the people who love you and who support you. That's a big one. Number 28, protect your bubble, your union, and your love. So protecting who and what you are, and protecting your union. So whether it be your relationship or, protecting your views. Maybe like it could be, indifference of opinion. It's not about being ego-driven, but it's just also about like standing firm in what you believe in and what's right. So that's a big one. Not everyone means well upon you, unfortunately. So that's something I'm still yet to learn. And being a mama bear as well, you do get very protective of your family and of your child. And you know what? That's okay. Standing your power. Number 29. Always be prepared to learn, even if you hear something you don't like. Yeah, look, for years and years and years, if I heard something I didn't like, I would get really triggered. It would really trigger me. So if it was in a work environment, I was fine because it's a work environment and I don't know everything and I'm learning, especially if it would be new roles. So, or from a mentor or from someone you're trying to learn something from. But always, be prepared to learn in whatever aspect that comes in your family or through your friendships or through education or work environment. Even if it's things you might not like to hear, which I've heard a lot from people, like through different readings and different ways that I've tried to, I guess, get to know myself better. I've heard things that I don't like, and it's like, that's okay. You can be open and honest. You don't have to like everything that person is telling you. You don't have to take it all on board, but at least take away some aspects that you can adapt into your current life. Number 30 would be change is the only constant, adapt even when it's messy. So adaptation has been a big one. I think we had to adapt so much when we were children that then when you become an adult, it's a lot harder to adapt. When you're a child, you don't drive. Like we didn't drive when we came here. We were just still kids. We didn't know the language, so in a way, we sort of just had to do this, do this thing. Whereas when you get older, you become a little bit more conservative, and you steer away from danger or you steer away from difficulty because you've had it so much in your childhood that this has been my experience, for example, is that when it gets messy, I just try and keep things, have harmony. But the thing is, change is constant. Change is, if I don't go out and seek change, then change is going to happen to me. So that's a big one. I'm still learning and I'm learning so many different things. So this is it's not like I said, a completed list. Number 31, have fucking fun. It's so true. I stopped having fun like I had a baby, I had a kid, and I just stopped having fun because, look, I've had fun, don't get me wrong. We do dance parties, we do all sorts of things and we're silly, and you can't not be silly when you have a kid. But what I mean, I stopped having fun as Ivana, not as a mum. It's more like I stopped doing just fun things, like spontaneous things, because when you have children, it's so chore driven and it's so time schedule driven that there's not much room or space just to be fluid and have fun. So for me, definitely this year, I just want to have more fun. I want to do last minute things. I want to book things last minute. I want to do more fun things with my husband and with my son. And look, also pandemics. It's not like we've been able to have like outside fun, but fun can come in many different shapes and forms. Fun can even just come through your imagination, I guess. So for me, it's just channeling more fun. And this is what this podcast has also been about. Healing and also fun. Number 32, I care more about how things feel rather than how they look. Yeah, definitely. I care more now about how I'm feeling inside rather than how it might look to somebody else on the outside. So caring more about my own opinion than what I do of others. So that's, through your 20s, I think you live more by how will other people view me versus how will I view myself, like other people's voices are more important than your own. And culturally, once again, this is something that we all stem from that, I'm trying to change. Number 33 is breathe. Whew. Honestly, just breathe. And things are going to be all right. Just breathe. So I've definitely learned this through yoga and just slowing myself down and giving myself that permission slip, because it's not going to come from anybody else. No one else is going to come and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, it's okay, you can slow down, like, you're still worthy. It's giving myself, reclaiming my own power and giving myself permission to breathe and take things easy. That's been massive. And not always having to be productive. Number 34 is you're allowed to change your mind. You don't belong in a square. So what I mean by that is not in an actual square, guys, but you're allowed to change your mind with things. Like, let's say you signed up to a university degree, you don't like it anymore, you want to change, but it's going to upset too many people. Fuck it. One day you might like chocolate cake, and then, I don't know, in 5 years' time, you might decide you don't like that anymore. And that's okay. You don't have to. It's this whole thing about not being able to change our narrative. Like, oh, I used to like this as a kid, or I used to like this, at this stage of my life, and I should always have to like that. No. Your interests and your hobbies and your relationships change and alter and grow. And as we change and grow, the things we like and don't like are going to change also. So once again, it's just about giving yourself that permission slip of just adapting and changing and growing and learning. And you don't have to like the same things you used to like 10 years ago. That's fine. Once again, it comes back down to mentality, because in the Balkan mentality, it's very much like what you choose now has to be what you have for the next 40 years. And I don't like that. There's not much freedom in that. So I'm definitely still working on that. Number 35, which is the final one. I've tried to ramble them off because, like I said, otherwise we'll be here for a really, really long time. And I wanted to keep the episode under 1 hour. That was my goal. So, yeah, look at how far you've come. That's number 35. Right now, wherever you are, wherever you're sitting, I want you to think of how far you have come. So, just sit down, close your eyes, and just reflect back on how far you've come, whatever your age might be, 35, 25, 45, 55. Too often or not, we look at how far we have to go. So we look at the gap between where we are now and where we want to be, and we just solely focus on that. But I want you to solely strip it back and focus on where you are now, and look back on all the stuff you've endured and all the things that you've overcome. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. And I want you to, I'm patting myself on the back right now. I want you to pat yourself on the back. I want you to give yourself a big hug, because you're still here. And I want you to celebrate how far you have come, because I'm certainly going to be celebrating how far I have come. It doesn't diminish how far I want to go, and it doesn't kill my dreams, but it just means that I'm simply acknowledging my journey, and I'm acknowledging me, and I'm expressing gratitude towards myself and how far I have come in this thing called life. It's hard, it's difficult, it's messy, and we've seen that not everybody wants to partake in this. This is why people, take their own life and sort of try and go to a different place, and that's okay. But you've committed to being here, you've committed to staying, and just give yourself a big hug. Honestly, you're an amazing human, and I really just want to express gratitude towards you guys and say thank you for being here on this journey with me. Creating these little episodes, sometimes it feels like nothing because it feels like, who's really listening? and then I have a look at the statistics, and I have a look at all the different countries that people are listening from, and I just think, holy shit, there's actually people out there who listen to this, and it's just really humbling and really nice knowing that I'm not alone in this. These problems we face and talk about, everybody is moving through something. And I'm literally just having a look on, okay, so I've got listeners. I want to just shout out to the different countries that are listening. So I've got listeners in Australia, in America, in Germany, in Guten Tag. And look, Germany is a soft spot in my heart because we lived there for 5 years before we came to Australia. So I love Deutschland. Denmark, I don't know any Danish, I'm sorry. Slovenia, I'm not sure. I hope it's Petra. It's a lovely Instagram friend I have. She's Slovenian, so hopefully she's listening. Netherlands, I hope it's Carolina. I love Carolina. She's a digital artist and a psychologist, and I hope to actually have her on as a guest. There's Canada, and there's so many listeners. So like the people I'm pointing out is just the people that have reached out to me. But look, Canada is a soft spot in my heart. I hope Tata Francie's listening. Francie, if you're listening, I want to say hi. There's also UK, France, Bosnia. Oh, my beautiful Bosnia. I miss you so much. Hrvatska, Croatia, Switzerland, Sweden. There's literally people listening in India, in Ireland, in Turkey, Austria, Serbia, Estonia, Italia. And I have a lovely follower from Italy. She's amazing as well. She's has a Balkan heritage. Alexandra Sophis is her. I want to say hi. Poland, Slovakia, Brazil, Egypt, Finland, Malaysia, and Belgium. So there's literally such a big mix of countries because our diaspora is so large and there's so many people out there with Balkan heritage. And my mum just booked tickets to go to Europe the other day and I'm so jealous. And yeah, the lady that was serving us and booked mum's tickets, her grandfather was, I think, somewhere from the Balkan region. I don't know if it's Serbian or Bosnian. But yeah, so you'll always just at least meet that one person who has that connection, and I think it's so powerful. And yeah, embracing myself, and I hope you get to embrace who you are and where you are right now, embracing, all the things that make you you, embracing your past, your present, and your future, whatever your future might look like. We only get to dictate so much, and the rest is decided for us. So just, try and enjoy this little thing called life. Thank you for being here. And thank you so much for all the birthday wishes so far. SRETAN ROĐENDAN to all the people who celebrate in February. So if your birthday is this month, I'd like to extend my warmest greetings. And if you'd like to connect, just send me a little birthday message. I'm on Instagram. It's at Ivana Alfonso. I'm on there, and I'm always open to connecting. And yeah, guys, that's it. That was my 35 things I've learned in 35 years. And it's a lot of things. It's very hard to squeeze into one little episode. So if any of that resonated with you, or it struck a chord, or you had a light bulb moment, let me know. I'd love to know what you've learned on your journey. And can't wait to come back on here. I've got some awesome guests that I'm in the works with and talking to and planning and time scheduling. So there's heaps more episodes to come. And yeah, happy birthday to my fellow Aquarians, if you believe in star signs. And I love you all. Can't wait to chat in the next episode. Do widzenia. Ljubim vas puno I veliki pozdrav. Bye. Ciao.
So that was the episode. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And as ever, if you did, please consider sharing it with your loved ones and leaving me a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. It really does make a difference to the number of Balkan sisters that we can reach with the brilliant wisdom that my guests and I share. Thanks for being here. I do widzenia.